Um, we, we are going to be talking with Tiffany Gonzalez, who is the regional communications manager, Southwest Florida Red Cross. You were a couple of days ago, and it was really just the beginning of everything. So, can you update us as to where you're at now?
Yeah, of course. So we are here, boots on the ground. We have been hitting the hardest hit communities. So if you're familiar with Fort Myers area, we've been hitting Iona, Harlem Heights, down in North Fort Myers Beach, and really just getting in there. We did some surveys, assessment, seeing the areas that needed us most, what areas needed food and water and those basic human needs. And we've just started getting our shelters up and running. So now we're running 3 shelters right now currently in the area, and we should have about another 1 or 2 up in the next 2 days. So we're really just trying to get people exactly what they need, focusing heavily on food, water, and supplies.
And do you know what shelters are up and running at this point?
Yeah, I can get you those locations. So bear with me 1 second. I want to give you the correct one.
All right. So go ahead and repeat those. I apologize, folks. Go ahead and repeat those shelters, and then we'll go from there. And if we lose the internet again, I will talk with you off air, and we'll post the information as we get it. So go ahead. What were those shelters again?
So the 3 shelters that we currently have open is going to be one in a sterile recreation center. The other is going to be at Fort Myers High School, and the third being at the Allen J Arena in the Highlands County Fairgrounds area.
Oh, okay. And so locally, what can people do to help out the Red Cross?
So really, it's going to be 2 ways that we're looking for individuals who want to get involved to help. The first one is going to be financial donations to really help us keep bringing in supplies into this hardest hit area. And people can donate by texting the word Ian to 90999, and that's going to do an automatic $10 donation.
Okay.
Or if they want to be more hands-on, we are always looking for more volunteers. So we do have volunteer positions open and ready for people who want to help exactly with this disaster relief effort. And they can find that info at redcross.org/volunteer.
Okay. And if people, I know one of the question is, what will volunteers be doing, and can they choose the area that they want to volunteer in?
Yeah, of course. So they go through the process of signing up to be a volunteer. This is going to be an expedited process. So they're going to get their training in ASAP, and then they'll be able to give us their availability and locations and where they want to volunteer at. And we have all types of positions open. So sheltering, for example, if you decide you want to be a shelter volunteer, you'll be inside these shelters either helping people get situated, checking people in, really just lending a shoulder for people to cry on and tell their stories, and being there for them and giving them that Red Cross feeling and mission. Or we also have emergency response vehicles, which are feeding trucks going out. So we always need people to get on those and help get the community fed and get water to them. So those are some of the positions that they'll see on the website when they go to apply.
And if people wanted to go, right now, you're not doing anything down at the beach, correct? Because they're just still doing the search and rescue.
So we did have feeding trucks there the other day. We were feeding the individuals that were getting evacuated off the island. At the moment, they are trying to get people off North Fort Myers Beach. As you said, they are doing search and rescue. So we are going down there periodically just in case there's anybody left, so we can give them food and water. I was personally just down there yesterday. We gave some individual snacks and water and just made sure that they were safe and had what they needed since they were sticking it out.
Okay. And so if people wanted to join that specific one, can they earmark that or put that in their volunteer application?
So they can make a note of it because that would be part of our feeding vehicles, but they do have different routes every day. So I wouldn't want to promise them that they would be specific to the North Fort Myers Beach area.
Right. And then as people are coming off the beach and going into shelters, then do those feeding trucks go to the shelters as well?
So we actually have feeding that happens inside the shelter. So those feeding trucks don't need to hit those areas.
Okay.
The feeding trucks are more so to hit the hard hit communities. Excuse me, guys. I'm running on no sleep here.
That's
My
right.
voice is going. The trucks are more so for the people who can't get to the shelters or don't have a way of transportation, or who really just don't want to leave their homes. That's what the feeding trucks are for.
Okay.
The shelters have their own feeding that goes on.
And so right now, where you're at on you're not on Estero Island, you're on the other side of the bridge. Will you stay there, or will you go on to the island once it's open?
We will be going back and forth onto the island once we're able to do so more frequently. And like I said, really wherever they need us. And I want to encourage the people listening, if you haven't seen us in a community and you're from the Fort Myers area, let us know.
Okay.
Send us a message, because we have so many people here and we're really trying to hit every single community, but there's always room that we may have not gotten to one just quite yet. And we want to know where that is so we can make sure that we're getting that area the food and supplies that they need.
Are there specific folks that you need with specific skills, or you just need everybody? And how well staffed are you with volunteers at this point?
We need everybody and everyone. Everyone here can find a way to help with the Red Cross mission from a volunteer standpoint. So I'm sure that everyone has a qualification that they can come on here and help hands-on. Currently, we have over 700 volunteers on the ground, with hundreds more coming in the next coming days. So like I said, we have lots of hands on the ground, but we can always use more.
Okay. And then can you give out that volunteer website again?
Sure. It's going to be redcross.org/volunteer.
And are you guys still, once they get vetted and they get through, are you guys still located on, is it Colonial? Are your offices on Colonial? Is that where people would go and then be out, or how does that work once they get vetted?
So once they volunteer and they're assigned to this disaster relief effort, they'll get their meeting point. So they'll know exactly where they need to go meet up, so that way they can get out into the community. It varies from position to position and from day to day. So it won't be necessarily the same place every single day, but they'll get that information in their inbox or on their phones once they sign up.
Okay. And I can encourage people from a personal standpoint. I volunteered during Charlie on the feeding trucks, and it was very well organized and everybody was working well together. And, you really got a bird's eye up close view of the folks that you were helping. And, it was an experience that I won't soon forget. So I can just personally encourage people to go ahead and volunteer, whatever you want to do. I chose to go on the food trucks, but as Tiffany was saying, there's plenty of opportunities out there. So Tiffany, is there any other information we can get out for you guys at the Red Cross?
really, we just want to encourage the people. If they need anything, like I said, please let us know and check for our social channels. We're posting updates there on new shelters that are opening, on feeding sites, really just information that the community needs. And I just want to tell everybody, the Red Cross, we're not going anywhere. We will be here for as long as it's needed to get this community back on their feet. I've been out on the field since I've been here, and the things that I am seeing are honestly, I mean, it's devastation.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be here as long as it's needed to rebuild.
Have you been in other areas and other disasters that you can, sort of gauge this one as it compares to others?
So this is my first deployment with the Red Cross.
Wow.
I came on board, but I spoken to my colleagues and kind of, this being such a big one, I felt like, what, is this, how does this compare? And I've asked others who have been to other hurricane responses as well as other just disasters. And they're saying that this is, I mean, it is uncomparable to some of the things that they've seen, because what you're seeing on the news is the truth.
Right.
The devastation, it's there. There's a whole area that's just been wiped clean. There's
right.
nothing. So it's as big as it seems. It really is.
And I think, when you see it on TV, it's the truth. When you see it up close and in person, it's a factor. It's a power of 10. The reality of it.
It's an impactful moment when you see it in person, and it's emotional because it looks unreal to think that something like this happens, but it's the reality. And these people that are here in this community, they've really lost it all, and that's why we're here, to give them that help that they need and give them a little bit of care and hope for the future.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and being available to us. And we look forward to getting back with you again and updating as this progresses and, start lifting people up and out of this disaster.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
All right. Have a great day and stay strong.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, folks, for joining us, and we will keep you updated.